Okay. Before I start the lesson, I'm going to wait for the chat room to populate a little bit. So bear with me. Just play some triplets against the jazz time. What do we got? Hey, Nathan. How are you, sir? Is it your first time here? I'm just waiting for the chat to populate a little bit before I start the lesson. We're going to be working from the syncopation book and the stick control book. If this is your first time here, I'm going to give you my email. I'd like you to email me. I'll put you on my mailing list, and you'll get a criteria for the week, the up and coming week, and some PDF files. Okay? Okay. So just email me and I'll add you to my mailing list, and you will get PDFs, and you'll get the week's agenda and the location. Oh, all right. I'm sorry, SP. I get so many different people. Sometimes I don't remember my wife's name. I always get in trouble. But yeah, you did send me an email. That's right. You were here last night. Did you have any questions about last night's lesson? You know, the possibilities of the stick control book and the syncopation book is just endless. Wow. I can't hear that. See that? I need to get some new glasses, I guess. All right. Anyway, you have any questions on last night's lesson? Because we're going to work with the stick control book and the syncopation book with accents. You know, one thing I've noticed, a lot of guys, you know, first off, you know, they think greatness or how to play well is a big issue. So people would recognize that. I don't really agree with that. Okay? Hey, Ed, you know, everybody wants to play like Buddy Rich. Oh, well. Or Elvin Jones or Max Roach. Nobody wants to establish their own voice. There's no way of getting around this. You need to pay your dues. You need to practice. You need to be consistent. You need to be focused. And you have to be carefree, and you don't really care what anybody thinks about you or your drumming. It matters nothing to anybody. The only person that knows where you're at is you. So, you know, stop trying to be 9,000 miles an hour. Okay? And, you know, we're not Buddy Rich. You're you. You're Ed. You're JP. You know, you're Jim. You're Mike. You know, and you're on the same journey as all of us. We want to learn as much as we possibly can. We want to become better at what we do. We want to make something that's brand new part of us and flow. And the only way, and there's no way out, is to practice. Consistency. Case closed. Okay, now, I noticed that some of the drummers this afternoon are kind of discouraged. Why are they discouraged? Well, this is not instant success or instant mashed potatoes, and I know I don't have a magic wand. I can open up some doors for you, but they're not, if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, it's going to take you some time. That's paying your dues. Like developing four-way coordination. It's simple. Everybody makes it complicated. You have the right hand, you establish a pattern. That's your time element. You embellish it. Now I'm concentrating, I'm talking, it's hard to do this because I don't sing and play, I just hum and play. Now I'm going to do triplets. One measure with the left hand and one measure with the bass drum as a warm-up. Yeah, I have some students that say, well, that's hard, I can't do that. Every time I play my right hand, my left foot goes off, or my right foot goes off, or whatever. Well, you have to find a starting point. That starting point is where you maintain total control. Okay? That total control is, you know, where one and what is assigned to that. 2 and the 3 and the 4. And like I mentioned this afternoon, it's a form of meditation. You are where you're at. If you can't do triplets with one hand, practice the triplets with the left. 1 and nice and slow. 2, you're not going to sit there and go the first time you're doing it. Be reasonable. So what we're going to do is we're going to play triplets really slow, and then I'm going to add the right hand, and the left foot, and the right foot. 1, nice and slow, like a meditation. 2, and the 3. Now I'm using my left foot. The 4, bass drum, and the 1, and the 2, and the 3, and the 4, and the again. Now 1, the left hand, the 2. Now that's the only way it's going to happen. You have to find that spot. Hey Joe, hi Paul. How we doing? You missed out last night, Joe. Where'd you have a gig? Okay. You know, it doesn't happen because somebody just showed that to you. You know, you have you are where you're at, and you know you want to grow. So you need to slow things down. Now, I'm going to do something a little new for the guys who have been here this afternoon, and it's going to be new because the guys are here from this evening. And it's an interpretation of the stick control book. Again, everything comes from that book, whether you realize it or not. Well, I hope you feel better, okay? Anyway, what we're going to do, there's 2 versions of this, and I want to take this first off in a slower version as an 8th note triplet with an accent. So, we're going to take the first line of stick control book, and we're going to eliminate all the lefts. So I take the first line, all my rights are falling on 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. I go to line 2, all my rights. Now we're using syncopation here, we're swinging it. So we go to line 2, we have 1 and the 2 and 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. So what we're going to do is an alternating triplet. Okay? Well, this is what I did this afternoon. We're going to play accents. All the rights are accents, so the first line would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Line 2. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. Okay, we understand that. That concept, that interpretation. Okay, here's what I want to do next. Just to review this afternoon, line 3 would be 1 and, what are we going to do? Line 3 would be 1 and, all right, here we go. 1 and the 2 and the, Line 4, 1 and the 2 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the line 5. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. Okay, now what we're going to do is a different interpretation, all right? We're still going to reference off the stick control book. All R's are accents, whether they fall on, wherever they fall on 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're going to think of the stick control book a little different. We're going to take the first line, which is a 2-measure increment, and we're going to make it a 4-measure increment. As right, left, right is 4 quarter notes. Right, left, left is another 4 quarter notes. That's the first measure. Right, left, the second, the third measure. Right, left, the fourth measure. So every time we come across a right, we're going to nail an accent. Whether it falls with the right hand or the left hand, but we're just doing an interpretation. Line 1, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1. Line 2, the right hand shifts over, the right shift over to 2 and 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we understand that? Line 3, you have 1, 2 is the right, 1 is the right, 2 is the right, 3 is the left, 4 is left. So we have 1, 2 is the accent. Got it? Now, I'm locking everything in to the snare drum, one surface. We went to line 4. It's 2 and 4 and it's going to be the 2 and 3. Yeah, what was that? The 3 and 4 rather is going to be accented. 1 and the, sorry, ouch. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Line 5. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. Now, that's one surface. What I'd like to do is take all the accents, whether they're right or left. The right hand accents are going to be here. Left hand accents are going to be here. Now, I hope this is not confusing you from this afternoon because it's a totally different thing. Okay. Line. Let me just do a couple lines, moving it around on the toms. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Line 2. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. Next line. We get that. Now, it doesn't sound like anything. It's very mechanical, yes. But you're developing a movement around the drum set. Little up-tempo. The ding, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There you go. Line 1. Line 2. Ah. Line 3. Line 3. Line 4. Ah. Yeah. Line 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets confusing. Do we understand that, gentlemen? I mean, I make more mistakes probably in one day than you do in a half hour. It's a lot of. First off, I mean, I don't want to use no excuses, but it is what it is. It's very difficult to teach, explain, and perform at the same time. Plus look at the computer. It's very difficult, and I don't care, try it once in a while. Do we understand that concept? Did anybody watch that video with Buddy Rich, why he doesn't play match script? Did anybody ever watch that video? He gives an explanation. I mean, that guy's so fast, it's ridiculous. And he makes so much sense. And he's not thinking triplets, he's not thinking sixteenths, he's thinking a tune. Okay, any questions at this point? Now we're going to go back to the syncopation book. Okay? I mean, all this stuff that I'm presenting right now is going to be written out full in workbook number 2. Okay? It takes a long time to do it. I don't know when it's going to be complete, but it's going to be another 180 pages. Or I just might shorten the thing up as book 2, linear concepts, book 3, jazz patterns, book 4, formulas, whatever. And I think, Ed, I want this question directed to you, and I want to take the syncopation book, any particular page. Of course you've seen him play match, because, let me tell you something, Ed, and guys, everybody. When you reach a certain age, your body's not like it was at 30 or 40. When you're drumming all your life and playing like that, your hands, there's no carpal tunnel or anything, but your body changes and you get like arthritis. Once you get arthritis, man, you got to change that stick around. And I do that. I have a very, very, very mild case of arthritis in my left hand. And that's compounded with the accident that I had when I was a kid. So it's becoming more and more difficult to play traditional. So I need at times to play matched or German or French or whatever you might call it. But I'm asking this question to you, Ed. I want to go to the syncopation book and I want to demonstrate the accents like I did just before, not as just one accent, but as the line, playing the figure as accents and underlining it with the eighth note triplet alternating strokes. What page would you like for me to demonstrate or start with? I'm going to leave that one up to you, Ed. You see, once you get all of these things going on, I like to sit down and just get into a triplet mode. And have a good time and just jam and improvise. So Ed, come on, throw it at me, please, por favor. Need some response. I appreciate the emails I've been getting. It shows me you gentlemen are really aware and you have a passion for the knowledge. I don't want to go to page 30. Let's go beyond that. What is that? Oh, page 30? All right, that's okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't even know you put that there. All right, page 30. And one thing I forgot to mention is sometimes I get so overwhelmed that Ed mentioned it this afternoon. It's like reading the chart. Now, when you read a chart, they're not telling, unless it's a part where the whole band is playing exactly note for note for note. They're giving you a figure that the trumpets are playing or the band, bop, bop, ba-doo, bop, bang. And nobody's telling you play triplets with accents. Nobody's play it with triplet fill-ins. All that good stuff. Which make up your mind, Ed. 30, 34, what is it? 34? All right, we'll go to 34. Stay there. 34 it is. What are you laughing out loud there, SP? We're having fun, man, and that's what the learning process is to have fun. Now, I'm not going to play the jazz time and play this with the bass drum and then the snare drum or the triplet fills. I'm going to stay with the lesson. And the lesson is I'm doing alternating triplets on the top. I'm going to stay on one surface, and that's the snare. So throughout this interpretation, okay, it's your bass drum is going to be on 1, 2, 3, 4. Your snare drum is going to be, we're on page 34, Ed. Everybody, page 34, syncopation book. My bass drum is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. My hi-hat's going to be 2 and 4. My hands are going to be on the top doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. So that's going to be constant. And now we're going to nail what's there, the figure. Let's say the trumpets are hitting. If I look at line 1, I'm interpreting line 1 as 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the beginning of an endless journey. Okay, when I say endless journey, you're counting it, you're mathematically putting it together, and you're putting it in time. Now, what you want to do, eventually it's going to go boo-da, boo-da, ba, it's a trumpet part. Da, ba, da, ba, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Eventually. You guys get it? So now we're on page 34, and we're going to play triplets on top. Got it, Paul? Joe, you got it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first downbeat, I'm going to accent 1 and the da of the first triplet. 1 and da. Got it? 1 and da. It's 1. It's a free stroke, actually. 1 and da. Now we go to 2. You have 2 and da. So I'm going to do the first 2 downbeats. Okay? You go. Ah. And we're going to accent 3, 4. All right, we got it? You guys got it. Okay. What's this? Oh, my microphone. Hold it. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. It's just another way to interpret it. Now, you are mechanically and mathematically. Just, come on. Oh, come on, Clip. Get on there. There you go. You are mechanically doing this. Now, what I would recommend, if you're not familiar with it, do it slow. And I'm going to do it slow. And actually, the slower you play this, the stronger you will become. When I say stronger, it means mentally you're focused in on that, you're zoned in. It's like I said before this afternoon, it's a form of meditation. You're putting everything in place when you do it slower. 1 and da, 2 and da. That's the first 2 downbeats. 1 and da, 2 and da, 3 and da, 4 and da. So play the measure like that. Okay? And then take a measure break and say, did I do it right? And if you didn't do it right, that's okay. That's part of the journey of learning, is if you make a mistake, realize it. You're trying to do one thing and something else comes out. That's okay as well. because that's going to open up some more doors. Hey, wait, here's like that. I hear like something in there. So you make a mistake. So what? You're not in competition with nobody. You're just trying to go forward and become better at what you're doing and make this flow. So I'm doing line 1, and I'll take a break. I'll do the first measure. 1 and the. Got it? 1 and the. 2 and the. 3 and the. 4 and the. 1 and the. 2 and the. 3. So you do it over and over and over again. Who's this? Ken. Wait a minute. That's okay. I mean, it's not that I'm frustrated. It's just that this won't clip. I spent a lot of money for these clips. And it's this shirt. It's not the clip. So I need not to wear a t-shirt like this because, you know, it gets really hot in here with all these lights. You know? And my vision is going on me. My hands are going with arthritis. You know, it's not, I don't throw things around. I just get pissed off. You know, things should work. I hate when things don't work correctly. So I calm down. And actually, as a person, when you calm down like that, you become a better player because when you play, you're calm. And being calm is making you relaxed. So I work on the first line over and over again. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge myself. And myself being one of you gentlemen. And I'm going to play one measure of time in between. That puts another zone on it. What you're doing is you're now keeping in order. Once you get it flowing, you're keeping in order. One measure of time, one measure of the phrase. Just keep going over it and over it and over it and over it again. And eventually it's going to become unbelievable. Yeah, well, pissed off is giving some steam there, Ken. That's okay. It's not, you know, I used to get crazy, but now I just say, you know, I'm too old for this shit. So I just want to relax a little bit. If I make a mistake, so what? The mic clip don't work, so what? But after 10 tries trying to clip it onto the shirt and it don't work, now it gets a little, you know, not embarrassing, but I'm pissed off. And that's okay too. But I don't try to go to the extreme. And I'm trying to tell everybody, you know, I have to share this with everybody here. And it does have to do with your playing. Indirectly and then directly. Now, you don't understand what I just said. You will after I make the next statement. You know, I've been doing this a very long, long time. And I have this creative nature. Sure, we can. Just 1 second, okay, SP? I just need to say this, and this is pertaining to how you approach your practicing and how you approach your playing. You know, my mind is constantly going. Stick control book, syncopation book, Morello book, patterns. That's all I think about all the time, and so many different new ways to do it. And that makes me very hyper. And that interjects into my playing, which is not a good thing. Okay, because you need to be relaxed. Now, that's indirectly becoming directly. So if you're relaxed when you practice, you go in with a clear head. Now, most of us are married. We all have responsibilities. Sometimes we make enough money to take care of business. Sometimes we don't. And that becomes frustrating. That interjects in your playing. When you sit down and you practice, you know, it's sad, you know, you don't have enough money to pay your utility bills or whatever. That should not interfere with your practicing. You should just sit there, zone in, clear your mind, count, and eventually hum. When you play something, the whole world goes away. You're just focusing on one and the two and the and whatever you're working on with the accents. Now, the request was what? Can we see line 2 as well in the same way? All right, line 2. All right, line 2, page 34, syncopation book. I'm going to play it not straight up and down. I'm going to play a swung. 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. Simple again. Ba boo ba boo da ba boo ba boo da. Hey, come on, stick. 1 and the 2 and the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we're going to swing that like we just did. And I'm going to play the line with the triplets on top or underneath in the accent. Ah! So now I'm going to play one measure at a time. Nice and slow. Now the measure. Again. It sounds really mechanical, but that's okay. Jim, how you doing? Oh no, it's okay to be filmed. Now, I'm not going to do too much more of anything because I am tired. It's been a long day. I'm going to stay on for a little longer, but I would like questions. Does that help you out there, Ken, what I just did? No, James is in Massachusetts. Ken, are you in Massachusetts as well? Where you at, Ken? I know Ed's in I think Quincy, is it? Joe, you are. Joe, you're from Mass also. All right, so we're all from. We got a lot of guys from. Where are you from, Ken? And by the way, gentlemen, next week during the day, 1 p.m., we're going to do a variety of little things of reading, uh, different time signatures. But in the evening, we're going to be working from Australia. Wow, Gloucester. All you guys from Mass. What time is it in Melbourne, in Mass, in Australia? But in the evening, what we're going to do is we're going to be working from the workbook. We're going to take one of the patterns and go through the whole thing at night. How's that sound, gentlemen? What's Melbourne? All right, so we got about 3 or 4 guys from Massachusetts here. And plus, Jim, you know some drummers that you're friends with, and they purchased the workbook as well, which is a good thing. Thank you very much. Here's what I'm going to be doing in February. All right, providing there's no snow. On a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to do a 6-hour session each day. Okay, and everybody that's in Mass should get in their car, carpool, drive down. It only takes 3.5, 4 hours, and spend the weekend in New Jersey. And you come to my studio. Of course, there's a fee to it, but that's okay. It's negotiable, and we'll work it out. So it's going to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this, believe me, this kind of session will most definitely put this stuff together for you and help you out with these lessons. How's everybody feel about that? Well, it's not a clinic, it's like a camp. It's, I have two things I'm going to do. First off, I have that first up and coming, I have two events coming being streamed. I have Alan Herman, uh, Jeffrey Johnson, and Steve Forrester, all former students of Morello and authors. And, Alan was the original drummer for Jesus Christ Superstar. Jeffrey Johnson has the book, he wrote the book on the level system. And I don't have the book in front of me. I can't pronounce that name for some reason. Steve Forster is going to be here. And we're going to sit down at a round table and we're going to discuss these different books, the different techniques, and what Joe did to them to help them become a better player. That's on the menu. Then I have a gentleman, his name is Tim Herman. Everybody goes to this guy and that's in the New York, the tri-state area, and they ask him questions about tuning drums. He's made thousands of snare drums for different professional drummers. He's also a former student of Sonny Igo. His best friend, one of his better friends, is Adam Nussbaum, and he's going to be coming here doing a show, and he's been here 2 or 3 times before doing a show on tuning. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then after that, one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all you guys from the Mass area, you save on transportation, get in one car, come on down. Book a room, it's cheaper. If you have 4 guys, that's 2 rooms. It's cheaper, and then the cost of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll work that out. But like I said, it will put all of this together for you. And Alan is a tremendous teacher. Absolutely. Well, Ken, where did you say you're from? You're from, you're from Charlton. All right, well, somebody can get a car and come on down. It put all this stuff together. Ed, you're from there. Joe, Ken, Jim, and there's a couple other guys that are from there. The more the merrier. Merrier. Okay? And, we'll sit here, we'll have, it's well worth the 6 hours per day. That's 18 hours of drumming in 3 days. Bring your drum pad, because when you go to the room, you can practice on your drum pad. Or if it's going to be a Friday night, we could hit the city. If Mike Clark is playing someplace, or we could hook up with, I could even invite Alan Herman here for the weekend. And we could go up to the city and check out a live, to the Blue Note or something like that. You guys got to come out, man, and do this. Okay? Now, Alan Herman, man, is a good friend of mine. Okay, well, you guys could talk about it later on, okay? Is there any questions pertaining to tonight? Notice my lessons have been 10, 15, 20 minutes longer. I don't realize the time I get involved with it. Only the reason why I get involved with it is because there's questions coming in, in the chat, and my email. Everybody here has my email. You have my phone number. You guys can call me. Not 3 o'clock in the morning. Something reasonable, 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe when I'm not streaming, or if I'm teaching, I'll tell you and I'll call you back. Does everybody here have my phone number? Or would like my phone number? Well, if you like it or not, I'm going to put it in there. If you want it, you could have it. Here's my phone number. I'm exposing it. That's the phone number. You can call me. And the more questions, the merrier it is. And it helps me help you. And you interact like you're doing now. Who's going to drive? That's cool. Let's talk about, you have a problem with your paradiddle. You have a problem with the jazz time. James, you still having a problem with the coordination? You missed out on what I said before with the lesson. Okay? What you need to do is slow it down. Take it part by part. You still having that trouble that left hand is coming in when you're playing the right? You can't separate them? You need to hang out with stick control book on a daily basis. You're working with the triplet. Take each exercise slow. Doing the triplet between the bass drum and the snare drum. And playing quarter notes on the ride. Over and over again. Okay, you got it, guys? Okay. Ah. Any questions? Next week, every night of the week, we're going to work out of the workbook. For those who don't have the workbook, I highly recommend purchasing the workbook if you live in the USA. If you live out of the country, it's too expensive. So I have PDFs available. There's 180 pages of PDFs, and there's a cost to that. So if you would like to purchase anything like that, email me and we'll talk about it. Okay, gentlemen? All right, no questions? Time for Uncle Matt to get some dinner. I will see everybody tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay? And I'm waiting for Mike. That's the guy from Florida, the double bass drum guy. He purchased the book, and he hasn't been back since. So, Jim, and this is directed at Mike, the books will be in the mail tomorrow morning. I just got them back from the printer. Okay? You're welcome, Paul. You're welcome, SP. Good night, everybody. Ed, thank you. Paul, Ken, I'm enjoying. Okay? Time for me to have dinner. Let me put this over here. Hold on. I can't say this is becoming a job. It's just a whole lot of fun. And I'm very serious. So I'm going to get off the stream.